Yeah, let me quickly go through certain things. You're able to see my screen. Can I have some response?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. What about now?
Yes, ma'am.
You're able to see the PPT?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So today's session, let me start with queue. What is a queue? We will go into the operations on queue, how arrays are represented using queues, or the different types of queues, and maybe I'll also take up the program that we have done on queue, so that you will also get an idea of a quick recap on how much ever we can finish. Let us try to do that. So, what exactly is a data structure? All this you all know already now. There's a particular way of organizing the data in a computer so that it can be used efficiently. Okay. We have seen this also. Types of data structure. We can classify types of data structure into primitive data structure and non-primitive data structure. So primitive data structure, you can have integer, float, character, and pointers. Non-primitive data structure can again be classified into linear and non-linear. So when I say linear, you have array, linked list, stack, and queue. Non-linear, we have tree and graph, right? So what is a queue? Queue is a very similar to linear. It is very similar to stack. It is also a linear data structure. But in case of stack, what's going to happen? You have only one entry. So insertion and deletion will all happen at the same end, which is called as the top of the stack. Whereas in queue, you are going to have two pointers or two ends. One is the rear end and the other is the front end. So queue is a linear data structure. It is used for temporary storage of data values. New element is always added. Insertion is always done at the rear end. Deletion is always done at the front end. So we also call it as a first in, first out. Whereas stack is called as what? Last in, first out. All right. So this is a very quick representation of queue. How exactly a queue looks like. Now, next, what are the operations that you can perform on queue? Insertion, that is placing an element in a queue, is called insertion, or we call it as enqueue. This is very important. You should know the other alternate terms. You placing an item in the queue, we call it as insertion, or you can call it as an enqueue, which is done at the end of the queue, called as rear. So rear end and the front end. There are two ends to a queue. When we say deletion, removing an item from a queue is called deletion, or you can also call it as dequeue. There is also a different type of queue called as dequeue. That is different. Apart from that, deletion operation is also called as dequeue. That you should be knowing very clearly. So this dequeue or the deletion is done always at the other end of the queue, which is called as the front end. Right? Either this way, this side you can take it as front and this you take it as rear, or you can take this as front and this as rear. Anything, that's okay. Now, the same, let us say, take the pictorial representation. So when a queue is empty, what are we going to do? Initially, rear and front, we are going to initialize it to -1. So when both rear and front are -1, that means our queue is empty. Now, when you start inserting, I said insert at the rear end. Correct. So when I try to insert at the rear end, what will happen? I should increment the rear as well as the front, because both are -1 initially. So when I insert the first element in the queue, I have to increment both rear as well as front. So both rear and front will then point at 0. After that, from the second element onwards, I will be incrementing only the rear as I insert. I am not going to touch the front. So look here, When I try to insert 10, 10 is my first element, correct? I am giving rear is equal to 0, incrementing both rear equal to 0 and front is equal to 0. When I insert the second element, I am incrementing only the rear. So front will be 0 only, rear will be equal to 1. Okay, next you see, I am trying to push 41. When I try to push 41, I will increment rear. So rear will now point to 2. This 10 is at 0, 3 is at 1, 41 is at 2. So rear will be pointing at 2. But front will remain the same. We are not touching front at all. Front will be at 0 itself. Unless you delete or you do a deletion, we are not going to touch upon the front. Next. Next, I am again inserting 70. So when I insert 70, 0, the location is now, okay, I have made some mistake here. Yeah, I have already deleted 10. I think I missed out that step. Deleted 10. So when you delete 10, what will happen? Front gets incremented. So front will become 1. Front will become 1 means your 0th location of the array will be empty. Front is now pointing to the first element on the front side, that is 3. And then I insert 70 also. So when I insert 70, rear gets incremented. So when my rear was initially 2, now it has become 3. So whenever I insert, I should always increment rear. When I delete, I should increment front. Only when I insert the first element, in that case, I increment both the rear as well as the front. Right? Look here again. Push 11. Now I am trying to push 11. So rear will become 4. Front is still at 1 only. We deleted one element. Right? So we incremented front once only. So front will be now pointing at 3. But then we inserted 11. So we are inserting one more element. So we are trying to increment rear by 1. So when rear is incremented by 1, it will become 4. Right? Again here if you see, we are trying to pop or we are trying to delete. We are deleting 3. So when you delete 3, what will happen? Front will get incremented. So front will get incremented means what will happen? Your front will now start pointing to 41. But whereas your rear is still remaining at 11 or remaining at 4, pointing at 4th location, because we are not incrementing rear. Am I clear to you all? So front will get incremented when you delete. Rear will get incremented when you try to insert. Now, look at this representation of Q. This is your front, this is the rear. This is the example that we had actually taken: A of 0, A of 1, A of 2, A of 3, A of 4. So you may have so many locations in the array, but when you are inserting for the first time, when you insert the element 12, front and rear both will be pointing to 0 because we have initialized both of them to be -1. Now as you go on inserting, incrementing the rear. So rear will be point to 9, rear will point to 7, rear will point to 18. Next, if I insert something, now rear will point to this 14. Again, when you delete, front will keep pointing at the first location. But when you delete the first element, when I delete 12, front will be incremented. So front will point to 9. All right. So now let us quickly look into the code of a simple queue. All right. Are you all listening? I have a notepad file for showing the program. I'm just trying to share that with you all. Let me see. Somewhere else. Notepad is not coming. Okay, now we saw what is a queue, how we do an insertion, and how we are trying to do a deletion. Let me quickly show you a program which does the insertion or the basic queue operations. I'm trying to share my notepad file. I'm not able to share it at all. Just hold on for a moment, please. Are you able to see my screen? Can I have some response, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, yeah. So here in this is a simple program for queue operations. What are we trying to do here? We have taken the queue size to be 50. We have defined hash defined max. We have taken it to be 50. Now, initially what I said, we are going to set rear and front both as -1. Correct? So rear is equal to, we are initializing rear and front to be -1. And then we are trying to write a function for insertion. We are trying to write a function for deletion as well as for display. In the main function, what are we doing? We are trying to put a complete menu for this. First option is insert, second option is delete, third option is to display, fourth is to quit, and then we accept the choice from the user. And then based on whatever choice is given, we are using a switch case here, so that gets the particular function gets called. I hope that is all very clear to you all, I hope. Next, what do we do? Before we insert into the queue, we should first check whether there is place for us to insert in the queue or not. That is, whether the queue is full. Queue is full means what? Queue is going to be overflow. What is the function that you have to check? If rear is equal to max -1. What is max? Max is our size of the queue. That means that is 50. That means you can store a complete of 50 elements in your queue. 50 elements, how you can store? Starting from 0 up to 49, you can go on storing. Now, because I'm taking the array index from 0, I take up to 49. Correct. So when I have stored it in the 49th location, which means I can't store any further. That is why we check 49 is what? 49 is nothing but max -1. So if my rear pointer is already pointing to max -1, that is if it is already pointing to 49th location, that is an indication that queue is already full and we cannot insert anymore. That is why before you do any insertion, you try to check whether the queue is overflow or not. Queue is overflow means what? The queue is already full. You don't have any place to insert any other further elements. How do I check that? I will check if rear is equal to max -1. Then we say queue is overflow and then we return, which means you can't do any further operations unless there is some space in the queue. Else, if front is equal to -1, when will front be equal to -1? Anybody? When will front be equal to -1? Any answer? So when front is equal to -1, that means the queue is, there are no elements in the queue at all. That means there are no elements, the queue is empty. So front is -1 means queue is empty. What we should do when we want to insert, what we have to do when you want to insert the first element, when you want to insert the first element, you should increment both the front as well as the rear, correct? But how do I get to know that I'm going to insert my first element or the queue is empty? Only when front is equal to -1, you get to know that the queue is empty. So that's why we say if front is equal to -1, we have to increment, I said, both front as well as rear, correct? So if front is equal to -1, we say front is equal to 0, which means we are trying to increment the front pointer as well if the queue is empty and we are going to insert the first element. So front is equal to 0. See out, input, enter the element. Now you are accepting what is the element that you want to accept or you want to add. Input the element for adding in the queue. Then I accept, that is nothing but my item. I am accepting that particular element. After which, what is rear? Rear is -1. Correct? Rear is -1. So I have to increment rear. Rear is equal to rear plus 1. Correct? So rear is equal to rear plus 1, and then q of rear is equal to rear plus 1 means what will happen to the value of rear? What will be the value of rear now when I try to increment rear? Why I am not getting any answers? Are you all there? Rear is equal to rear plus 1. In this case, your rear will become 0. So q of rear is equal to item means q of rear is equal to item means at that location, what is rear? Rear is 0. So at q of 0, you are going to insert this particular item. So that is how you try to insert an element into the queue. Next, let us see how we can do deletion. Now, if front is equal to -1, what are we checking first? We have to check whether the queue is, whether the queue is empty. If the queue is empty, then you cannot delete anything at all. So how do you check if the queue is empty? We try to see if front is equal to -1, or front can also be greater than rear. In that case also you can't do any deletion, right? So in that case we say queue is underflow, or you can also give deletion is not possible. Else what you have to do, we always delete the element which is pointed to at by, which is pointed by the front. So that means whichever element the front is pointing to, that is the element which will get deleted. All right, so see out, element deleted from the queue is what? Queue of front. That means wherever front is pointing, that element will get deleted, and you have to increment front is equal to front plus 1. So front has to be incremented, as I told you, only when we do the deletion. When we do insertion, we are incrementing only the rear. But when you insert the first element in the queue, then you have to increment both front as well as rear. Okay, I hope I'm right. I'm clear to you all. Next, we try to display. Void display int I. Again here, if the queue is going to be empty, you cannot display anything at all. How do you check whether queue is empty? Same condition I will follow. If front is equal to -1 or front is greater than rear, then we say that queue is empty. That means you can't delete anything. Otherwise, you start from front and you go up to the rear in order to display the elements. So I is equal to front, I less than or equal to rear, I plus plus. Okay, you start from the front, you go up to the rear, go on incrementing your looping variable, and then you display q of I. Okay, so that means you are trying to display all the elements. This is about normal operations of queue. That is, you are trying to insert, you are trying to delete and display. And we have written the main function. I hope it's clear to you all.
Yes, ma'am.
Now, next let us move on to circular queue. What is the difference between circular queue and normal queue? Anybody? Can anyone answer? Akash?
Ma'am, circular queue is a linear data structure.
Uh-huh. Is it a linear data structure? Okay, then. What is the main difference between circular queue and normal queue? Anybody? Chaitra? Okay. In case of circular queue, the last, you can go on inserting the elements even when there is some, space after the last element of the queue. That is what we try to say. So in circular queue also, we try to initialize front and rear as -1. And then we are trying to see what are the three important functions: insert, delete, and display. Let us see how we can try to insert into the queue. And then of course we have written the main function, which will have all these menu options: insert, delete, and display, quit. And then you are supposed to enter your choice. We accept that choice. Based on the choice, we are using a switch case, and then you call the respective functions from here. Okay, that is the main function. So depending on, since we have used a switch case here, depending on the choice that you enter, your particular function will be called. Let us see what we try to do in case of insertion into a circular queue. Now, before again, whenever you try to insert, you should always check for overflow condition. Okay. So if I have overflow means what? Queue is already full. All the elements are occupied and I cannot insert anymore. Correct? So how do I check that? If front is equal to 0 and rear is equal to max -1. So that means your front is pointing at the 0th location. Rear is pointing at max -1, let us say 49th location. So that means from 0 to 49, all the elements are occupied. All the slots are occupied. That means you cannot insert in the queue because the queue is already full. Or you can even check if front is equal to rear plus 1. That is also fine, wherein all the elements are already occupied. So then in that case, queue is overflowing. You cannot enter anything and then you return. Else, next, what is the condition? I have to check if the queue is empty. Why do we check this? We check for whether queue is empty because if the queue is empty, then I am going to insert the first element in the queue. If I have to insert the first element in the queue, then I have to increment both front and rear. So that is the reason I check whether queue is empty or not. So if front is equal to -1, okay, then which means the queue is empty. There are no elements in the queue at all. So if there are no elements in the queue, whatever you are going to insert, that is going to be the first element. So whenever we want to insert the first element, what are we supposed to do? We have to give front, we have to increment both front as well as rear. So front, if front is equal to -1, then I will increment both front and rear. So front is equal to 0, rear is equal to 0. Else. Now, if rear is pointing at the last position of the queue, rear is equal to max -1, even then I can still insert. That is a big difference between circular queue and the linear queue. So in that case, what I will do, I will set rear is equal to 0, else I will set rear is equal to rear plus 1. So that means whenever I have to insert, I have to increment rear. If I am inserting the first element, then I have to insert both front and rear. Otherwise, I increment only the rear. Simply, I cannot say R equal to rear plus 1 because if this is the condition, if my position rear is already pointing to the 49th location and if the 0th location is free, I can still insert at the 0th location. That is the difference between circular queue and linear queue. So for that, when rear is pointing at max minus 1, if I simply say rear is equal to rear plus 1, it will become wrong, is it not? Because if rear is at 49th location, I have to insert at 0th location if the 0th location is free. If I simply say rear equal to rear plus 1, it will go off to the 50th location, which is wrong. So that is the reason I am setting rear is equal to 0. Rear is equal to 0. Else, that means else means what? If it is not pointing at the 49th location, it is pointing at some other location. Maybe if any location from 0 to 49, then I can simply say rear is equal to rear plus 1. So then once I do this, then I ask for the element which is element to be inserted in the queue. Then I will insert that item in circular queue of rear. So to that position, I am going to insert the element. So this is how we do insertion in a circular queue. Let's come to deletion. In deletion, what is that? First we have to check. We have to first check if the queue is empty. So if the queue is empty, then you cannot insert at all. Correct? So how do we check whether queue is empty? I'm sorry, if the queue is empty, we cannot delete at all. Correct? So how do you check for queue being empty? You have to check as if front is equal to minus 1. If front is minus 1, then we give the display the statement queue is underflow or queue is empty or deletion is not possible. Anything you can write. And then you return because you cannot delete anything. Okay. Otherwise, what you do? We always delete the element which is pointed to by the front. Wherever the front is pointing, that is the element that you are going to delete. So element deleted from queue is circular queue of front. Okay. Now I have to increment once. Whenever I delete, what we should do? We should increment front. Is it not? Front is equal to front plus 1. But I cannot simply say front is equal to front plus 1. What if I have only one element in my queue and that gets deleted? So if I have only one element in the queue and if that gets deleted, what will happen? My queue will become empty. Correct? So if my queue is empty, then I have to set again, reinitialize front and rear to minus 1. So that is why we check if we have only one element. How do you check that? Only one element? We check if both front and rear, both are pointing to the same location. That means you have only one element and that element has got deleted now. Okay, because you have deleted the element which is pointed to by the front. So if both are pointing now at the same location, then that means to say it has only one element and that element has got deleted. So you will have to reset front and rear to minus 1. Okay. Else means there are more elements. The else means what here? Queue is not empty. Queue has more than one element. Only then you come to this part. So if front is equal to max minus 1, that means your front is pointing at the last location and you have deleted that. Simply you can't say again front is equal to front plus 1. So in that case, your front will start pointing to the 0th location. Else this condition is also not true, then only I can simply say front is equal to front plus 1. So these are the conditions that you will have to consider when you are trying to delete an element. First we check if the queue is empty, then we try to delete and then we check if the queue has only one element, then what settings you have to do. If the queue is front is pointing to the last location, then how you have to set front. Else only you set front is equal to front plus 1. Right? So that is how you insert and delete in a circular queue. Display of course is known. You are trying to delete from the display from the front up to the right. And this is the main function. And that's about circular queue. Now when you come to DQ, what is a DQ? Anybody? What is a DQ? Anyone there? What is a DQ?
Double-ended queue.
Yeah, double-ended queue. Manjunath, you have any answer? What is a DQ?
Same, ma'am, double-ended.
What is the operation? Double-ended queue means what?
We can insert and delete from the both the ends.
Good. You can insert and delete from both the ends. That is called as double-ended queue. What are the different variants of a double-ended queue? Anyone? What are the different types of a double-ended queue? Do we have any no variants? Anybody? Bhavisha? There are two variants of a double-ended queue. One is called as the input restricted double-ended queue. The other one is called as a output restricted double-ended queue. Input restricted means you can insert only at the rear end, but you can delete at both the ends. That is called as input restricted DQ. Output restricted DQ means what? Deletion can be done only at the front end, but insertion can be done both at front as well as the rear end. Output is restricted, input is restricted. So there are two different types of double-ended queue. Now this is a simple example of how we can do a DQ operation. We have taken all the four functions: addition at the beginning, that is at the front, addition at the end. Beginning is front, end is rear. Again similarly, void, delete from the front, delete from the rear, and then display. We have taken a constructor, there we have initialized both front and rear is equal to -1. All right. So here, when you want to add at the end is always rear. You want to add at the rear end. Then what you have to check, whenever you want to insert, what you should check? You have to check for overflow. Correct? So if rear is greater than or equal to size -1. So what is the size that we have? Yeah, size we have defined it as 5. So 5 means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Correct? That is your elements that you can insert. Now, if it is greater than or equal to size -1, what is size -1? 4. Correct? Then you cannot insert, because rear is already pointing at the last location. Then you will not be able to insert anything else. Front is equal to -1. What does this condition say? Anyone? Front is equal to -1 means what? No answer, no. If front is -1, that means the DQ is empty. DQ is empty means you have to, whatever you are going to insert is going to be the first element in the DQ. So if you are trying to insert the first element in the DQ, then you should increment both front as well as rear. So if front is equal to -1, front plus plus, rear plus plus. Else, you are going to increment only the rear. That means you are inserting an element which is not the first element. There are already some elements in the DQ and you are adding one more element. So in that case, I have to increment only the rear and not the front. If I am inserting the first element, then only I am incrementing both front as well as rear. And then whatever item I am accepting, I am putting it at A of rear. So that is how I try to insert at the rear end. How do I insert at the front end? Again, if front is -1, that means Q is empty. Okay, so you have to increment front. So front is equal to 0. A of plus rear is all. We have to increment both front as well as rear, right? So I have incremented rear here. I will increment rear and then, so rear will come to 0. Because if front is -1, rear will also be -1. You are incrementing rear and then at that location, I am trying to put the item. So this, then, if front is not equal to 0, front is not equal to 0 means it is not pointing at the first location. It is pointing at some other location. That means to say the first location may be empty. Only then you can insert. Otherwise, you can't insert only. So A of minus front. The front is not 0. It is pointing somewhere else. Okay. So wherever it is pointing, you are decrementing the front pointer because you are inserting at the beginning. So that's why, that's the reason we have taken it as A of minus front is equal to item. Else insertion is not possible. If your front, else means what? front is equal to 0. If front itself is pointing at 0, then there is no space in the beginning at all, is it not? You can't insert at the beginning at all. That's why I have given this. Insertion is not possible. So I hope I am clear. How do you display? If front is -1, then it is empty. So you can't display anything else. You have to move from front to rear. You go on displaying. That's simple. Then delete from front. Delete from the front. So if front is equal to -1, you can't delete because DQ is empty. Else, whichever element your front is pointing, that is what you will get deleted. Correct? So you will say delete A of front. Then what you have to check? If I have only one element in the DQ, how do you check that? If both are pointing at the same location and that gets deleted, that means only one element is there and I have deleted that. So what will happen? DQ becomes empty. If DQ becomes empty, what should I do? I should reinitialize it to -1. Both front and rear will be set to -1. Else, I will simply increment front is equal to front plus. Delete from rear. Again, you are checking the same conditions here. If front is -1, then deletion is not possible. Else, you are since you are deleting from the rear, you have to delete whatever rear is pointing to. So that's the reason I say here, delete the element A of rear. Okay. If front is equal to rear, again, you have only one element and you have deleted that. So then you will have to initialize it to -1 because the queue has become empty. Next, otherwise you will have to decrement the rear. Okay, you are deleting from rear. That's what. So and then you have the main function wherein you are calling all these insertion at the beginning, at the end, display, deletion from the front, deletion from the rear, and so on. Right. So this gives you a quick recap on what is queue operations. I'll end my session here. So probably tomorrow's class I can take up again revision on linked list because that is also part of your IA, second IA. Okay. Any doubts? Any questions? Otherwise, I'll see you all in the next session. Continue in the next session. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.